Happiness is the art of making a bouquet of those flowers within reach. Ana. Happiness is the meaning and the purpose of life, the whole aim and end of human existence. Aristotle. The foolish man seeks happiness in the distance. The wise grows it under his feet. J. Robert Oppenheimer. True happiness is not attained through self-gratification, but through fidelity to a worthy purpose. Helen Keller. Being happy is important to you. Try this instead of regretting all you lack. Celebrate all you've got. Brian Vasily. Man wishes to be happy even when he lives so as to make happiness impossible. Augustine. The greatest happiness you can have is knowing that you do not necessarily require happiness. William Saroyan. Being happy doesn't depend on any external conditions. It is governed by our mental attitude. Dale Carnegie. Remember, happiness doesn't depend upon who you are or what you have. It depends solely upon what you think. Dale Carnegie. It isn't what you have or who you are or where you are or what you are doing that makes you happy or unhappy. It is what you think about. Dale Carnegie. Happiness is not the end of life. Characters. Henry Ward Beecher. The best way to cheer yourself up is to try to cheer somebody else up. Mark Twain. A man may be satisfied but not sanctified, contented but not converted, happy but not holy. John Blanchard. There is only one happiness in life, to love and be loved. George Sand. You will never be happy if you continue to search for happiness. You will never live if you are looking for the meaning of life. Albert Camus. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Reinhold Niebuhr. The secret of happiness is not in doing what one likes, but in liking what one does. James Matthew Barrie. A happy life depends on a good conscience. John Calvin. Happiness is the secret to all beauty. There is no beauty without happiness. Christian Dior. To live is the rarest thing in the world. Most people just exist. Oscar Wilde. Happiness is not the absence of problems, but the ability to deal with them. Jack Brown. Happiness is an attitude. Either make ourselves miserable, or happy or strong. The amount of work is the same. Francesca Riegler. There can be no happiness if the things we believe in are different from the things we do. Trey Stark. The secret of happiness is renunciation. Andrew Carnegie. He who forgets the language of gratitude can never be on speaking terms with happiness. C. Neil Straight. Only the development of compassion and understanding for others can bring us the tranquility and happiness we all seek. Dalai Lama Xivi. Spread love everywhere you go. Let no one ever come without leaving happier. Mother Teresa. You find serenity and happiness. Some may be jealous. Be happy anyway. Mother Teresa. In order to live free and happily, you must sacrifice boredom. It is not always an easy sacrifice. Richard Bach. Happiness can be built only on virtue, and must of necessity have truth for its foundation. Samuel Taylor Coleridge. A happy man is he that knows the world and cares not for it. Joseph Hall. Until you make peace with who you are, you'll never be content with what you have. Doris Mortman. The sexiest curve on your body is your smile. Flaunt it. Enough. Happiness comes in waves. It'll find you again. Enough. When you love what you have everything you need. Enough. Happiness is letting go of what you think your life is supposed to look like. Enough. When it rains, look for rainbows. When it's dark, look for stars. Enough. The search for happiness is one of the chief sources of unhappiness. Eric Hoffer. Wise men and women in every major culture have maintained that the secret of happiness is not in getting more, but in wanting less. Philip Slater. The joyfulness of a man prolongeth his days. Happy is he who learns to bear what he cannot change. Friedrich Schiller. Every day is a new day, and you'll never be able to find happiness if you don't move on. Carrie Underwood. For every minute you are angry, you lose 60 seconds of happiness. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Everyone wants to live on top of the mountain, but all the happiness and growth occurs while you're climbing it. Andy Rooney. A good laugh makes any interview or any conversation so much better. Barbara Walters. A calm and modest life brings more happiness than the pursuit of success combined with constant restlessness. Albert Einstein. Count your age by friends, not years. Count your life by smiles, not tears. John Lennon. Sometimes life knocks you on your ass. Get up, get up, get up. Happiness is not the absence of problems. It's the ability to deal with them. Steve Maraboli. Happiness is different from pleasure. Happiness has something to do with struggling, enduring, and accomplishing. George Sheehan. When a man has lost all happiness, he's not alive. Call him a breathing corpse. Sophocles. Most folks are as happy as they make up their minds to be. Abraham Lincoln. Happiness is the spiritual experience of living every minute with love, grace, and gratitude. Dennis Waitley. Action may not bring happiness, but there is no happiness without action. William James. There's nothing like deep breaths after laughing that hard. Nothing in the world like a sore stomach for the right reasons. Stephen Chbosky. You start to think the problem is out there. Stop yourself. That thought is the problem. Stephen Covey. Think of all the beauty still left around you and be happy. And Frank. We make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give. Winston Churchill. The power of finding beauty in the humblest things makes home happy and life lovely. Uzma Alcott. You want happiness for an hour, take a nap. If you want happiness for a day, go fishing. If you want happiness for a year, inherit a fortune. You want happiness for a lifetime, help someone else. Chinese proverb. Happiness grows at our own firesides and is not to be picked in strangers' gardens. Douglas Gerald. Most people would rather be certain they are miserable than risk being happy. Robert Anthony. Happiness is a risk. If you're not a little scared, then you're not doing it right. Sarah Addison. Most folks are about as happy as they make up their minds to be. Abraham Lincoln. The end of life is not to be happy, nor to achieve pleasure and avoid pain, but to do the will of God, come what may. Martin Luther King. The thing everyone should realize is that the key to happiness is being happy by yourself and for yourself. Ellen DeGeneres. Happiness cannot be traveled to, owned, earned, worn, or consumed. Happiness is the spiritual experience of living every minute with love, grace, and gratitude. Dennis Waitley. The only thing that will make you happy is being happy with who you are, and not who people think you are. Goldie Hawn. Let us be grateful to the people who make us happy. They are the charming gardeners who make our souls blossom. Marcel Proust. True happiness never entered at an eye. True happiness resides in things unseen. Edward Young. It's so hard to forget pain, but it's even harder to remember sweetness. We have no scar to show for happiness. We learn so little from peace. Chuck Palahniuk. Happiness is a state of mind. It's just according to the way you look at things. Walt Disney.